so early. You guys want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee, 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 coffee.
God damn, Jimmy. That's some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
And that is the end of that fucking music. I've already done it. Broke the 5-second rule.
Happy National Coffee Day, by the way.
Is that today?
It's also Sunday, like Sun's Day, like children, children. And so happy Sunday to Benjamin and Sean. My God. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I drink coffee the way a Mexican child would.
Are we supposed to laugh now?
No, I thought somebody would correct me. All right. Because Will Ferrell says something about
I'm not a Mexican child. I'm not a child in Mexico.
I'm not a little kid in Mexico.
Mexico. Well,
damn it, Sean! How often have you watched that?
Look,
you're still not getting it right.
Look, we gotta solve this week's episode, and in honor of solving this week's episode, I play this.
Like, wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap door? Yeah, and look where we landed.
On the middle of our show. We got 12 people watching. Who's all here? Let me go see who's here. Alf Jeebus, Monkey is here. Hello, Monkey Jeebus.
Why is he changing his name all the time?
That's for Mikey, Mexican Iron Man, to fuck with him. Of course, Penny is here. Alatar, D. Bud Martin, Gap After Dark. I hope you were satisfied with Keith's response, and please keep in touch with him over the artwork you want to get. He and I are going to get together in the coming week so I can sign a bunch of the art prints and make them available for people. Good morning, Penny. How are you doing today? Scott Lewis. Is that Scott Lewis of the Springfield, Missouri? Scott Lewis is? Good morning, Scott. Fashionably late. Dr. Dragon is in the house, and of course, this is a House of the Dragon today. Magitech Mags, did you want to join us today, Magitech? Did you watch the show? Let's see. Glenn Fleming is here. G'day, mate. No, he's from England, so it's oi. Oi. Anybody else?
Morning, Keith.
I think that's everybody.
Good morning. Sorry, been on the phone, and I might have to bug out after a while. So
that's okay. I'm glad you're here. So
glad to be here because this was an interesting episode.
Yeah, it was the previous episode, episode 5, was a good transitional episode that had a lot of exposition in it. And I thought there was only one major screw up in that episode. This episode was different for me. And you know, and I watched it with Anima.
Yeah, at like 6 a.m. for me.
Wow.
We had a long date night on Sunday.
Wow.
It lasted until the episode was out.
Well, I gotta say, there is one possible mistake with this particular episode, which we will talk about when we get to that part of the story. But lots of moving pieces, lots of character development, and really, we're really getting a glimpse as to how this entire Civil War is going to happen, because that's what they're really, really leaning into. And hopefully this will lead us down a path, once the series concludes, to even more stories that have been talked about, possibly a Tuck and Egg miniseries, because that would be kind of cool. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things if this particular episode is kicked off. And as to the question is, geez, why can't you have like good people ever in any of this? There was at least one person who was technically a good person who now may be sullied after this episode. So everybody's just a various shades of gray. You know, in fact, the only person that actually looked like they're worth anything and may have changed is Damon.
Yeah, I think having kids changed him.
Oh, big time.
Having
Big time.
twins.
He is very, at this current stage in his life, he looks like he could really be a great ruler, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a super sticker from Darius Munchausen.
Popcorn.
Yep, I saw popcorn. Thank you, Darius, for the $1.49 super sticker and the popcorn. I will consume it in my coffee.
Yikes.
Doesn't taste good. No. So basically, the show starts off with a birth. We have Rhaenyra giving birth to a child, and we've seen this be not such a great thing to have happen in the castle. Throughout the first 5 episodes, pregnancy and birth seems to be problematic, but she survives. But then is immediately ordered to, the baby is to be taken to the queen. She doesn't like that. So she has herself cleaned up to present the baby herself to the queen.
She doesn't even stay on the bed till the afterbirth is out. She
Now,
gets up and is like, help me dress. I take the baby to her. She's
I'm going to tell you something. I've been in a lot of deliveries. A lot. I have helped deliver quite a few babies myself when I worked in the medical field. Afterbirth is not like what they showed in the film.
No, it's not.
It's sort of like imagine blowing your asshole out and then having diarrhea afterward. That's what it's like. And so I thought it was silly to do that, to make it look like that was a strenuous moment. No, it's just like your body is just like, everything's coming out now that's not attached.
Well,
it's a river. It's a river out now.
You know, here's the thing. Just with the opening of this episode, you definitely know that time has passed. There's a lot of stuff that has happened because of who, first of all, is giving birth. I mean, come on. Last time we saw her, she had no interest in it. None. And now she is. To see her in that position, doing what at least I think in episode 2 it was, no, 1, where she was just talking about how she held a kind of disdain for it. And now to be doing that, and as we eventually learn, this is actually her 3rd time. So she's kind of a pro at it. And
she probably hooked up with Howard pretty soon after the wedding, because he's the one who carries her out when Kristen went wild. So stuff has probably started pretty soon after that between them.
Well, and that's what episode 3. That's what made that one so interesting. You know, turns out that the father of the children is the guy that she met when she was out with Damon. She bumped into him.
Yeah, right. That was him.
That was him. He was one of the Gold Cloaks.
Did he recognize her though? Because she looked like.
Oh yeah, he recognized. That's part of the reason. Look, Damon wasn't even down that alleyway before he let her go. You know, he kind of liked her. Yeah, I don't think she really knew who she was. So you know.
So we've got her, and she appears before the Queen and the King. And then we see this. I don't know what the point of. It seems like they're trying to make her betrothed, who is really not into their marriage. Obviously, neither is she. But they're really kind of make him look like a douche nozzle, self-absorbed douche nozzle. And I'm like, look, I know you're trying to push a feminist thing here, but in the process, you're making the gay character look like an asshole.
Well,
so you're kind of mixed on your, you know, what kind of woke you are. But at the same time, he is a douche nozzle, and they're walking out of the King and Queen's chambers, and she's clearly still dragging ass. Dragon ass. Get it? But anyway, and then it cuts to the her gay husband turning to look to see the blood trail left behind by
that was weird.
Well,
no, they're trying to. It's a feminist thing. They're trying to show that she's stronger than him and she's bleeding.
But it isn't.
Why is she only bleeding then and not all the way to?
Apparently,
that was weird.
They're trying to say that while she was in there, the stress or strain of it was causing her to hemorrhage. That's
okay, makes sense.
There's an additional thing to all of this. From the previous episode, we've seen that the Queen has now decided she's playing the game. But you also have to understand her point of view. Out of everybody currently that's a part of all this, she's the only one that is doing what she's doing, not just because of duty, but because of her religion. She's very religious. She believes that if you make a deal, that if you have a duty, you got to follow through with it. Okay? So that's really the thing that has grown between her and the princess, which is that what she sees from herself is someone who is willing to sacrifice and do what they have to do for the realm. Okay? Whereas the princess wants it. She doesn't do what she needs to do. And as we learn with the presenting of the child, that's just another way of playing politics with all of this, in so much as that checking the child and what the child looks like, in this particular case, the hair color and the skin color.
And it's off again.
And noticing that just like her. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't care. But see, here's the other side of that. The thing about what the princess is doing is that she's hurting her cause, ultimately. Okay? In having children the way that she is and making it so obvious that they are so different from the person who says that they're their dad, you're basically then turning them into bastards. And you have to understand what that society sees bastards as. This is a completely bad thing. It wouldn't even matter if God himself said, hey, bastards are all right. Nobody, no one, even to the lowest of low person, has a positive opinion of anyone that is seen as that. Okay? So any attempt, once Viserys is gone, to try to claim, especially with her kids looking like they are, with the start of the rumors. I mean, there have been rumors swirling around these children since they were born.
Yeah, everybody sees that. Everybody but Viserys, but he's half gone anyway.
Well, no. Viserys sees it. He just doesn't want to cause any
doesn't want
problems.
to.
That's right. He is all about peace at all costs.
Mm.
Even though looking at things, he indicates that to his hand. They both talk about it, but he doesn't really want to talk about it. He just wants to have everything be nice. He wants everybody to play their parts. Run out that clock for however much longer he's got on this planet and on this side of life, and just keep everything nice. Because a civil war, especially any kind of war, is bad. And the last one that they had, there is a reason why some certain places have what is known as fused stone. And they talk about the great king that had ruled before they had peace, and the story of how he tried to hold out and wanted to conquer, he wanted to rule, and how one person with the dragon was able to basically make their way through the front gates by blasting through the stone, fusing it.
Yep.
And they're all, look, for those that have read the books, there are all kinds of little stories leading into some of these events. And you have a better understanding of why certain people are reacting the way that they are. A lot of people are continuing to just play the parts their families have always played. We are showing up now at a time that after all these years of peace, after having one particular rule where one particular rule that was divided between two people, and it was the closest they ever came to a woman having any power, because one of the characters was talking about how the landing itself, hadn't really known any real peace since her grandmother's time. Well, there's a reason for that. It was part of a dual rule between a man and a woman, where the actual man was the king, but his sister ran the landing between the two of them, and they were both really good at running it. And under her, nothing went wrong on the landing. Since her passing, things have regressed. So, there's lots of little stories, lots of little ins and outs. And when you understand that stuff, you have a better understanding of what's going on. But Rhaenyra, she isn't really playing the game, and she's losing sight of how far her power and possible claim are weakening. So,
all right. I'm going to take this opportunity when somebody's breathing to say thank you for new people in the room. I see Eat They Cat Food. What the fuck did you just say, Martin? Is that a name?
Yes,
That's
it is.
a name, yes.
Okay. And I never got to play the video I had lined up for Darius Munchausen's super chat, so I'm going to do that now. But that doesn't mean it's over, because I still have more people to greet. So let's not jump in there.
For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
There you go. Eat They Cat Food. There's a name and a half right there. Cavatina Calvarumanche is here. Good morning. Decepticon's Cave of Villains is here. And of course, Lindsay, the cynical geek. I think all geeks that I know are pretty cynical. So it's kind of redundant, but it's a good name.
Hey, Kingsport Cal is just landing.
Oh, Kingsport Cal, good morning. How are you doing? How is Tennessee this morning? That's a big fuck up.
Yeah. I think,
what?
Sorry, I think sorry.
Well, I wanted to get us back in linear. I'm trying to do the show in linear time. So we have the going before the queen scene, and immediately following that, I've lost my place. I forget now what the fuck happens next. I had it in my head before, but now I've lost it. Anybody is welcome to fucking help me here.
Aren't we with Damon and Lena next in Pentos?
I don't remember.
Well, the king comes in and sees the kid, and
oh yeah, we covered that. So.
Yeah.
All the scandal and
She's ordered to Rhaenyra passes Sir Kristen Cole. That was it.
Yeah.
She runs into Sir Kristen. He's now guarding Queen Alicent's door. A total shift from the scorned lover who almost took his own life. He wasn't scorned. What was going on with him was that he felt betrayed, that she was going to put him to being just the guy that beds her. So
yeah, but asking her to run away with him after he banged her once was stupid.
Because his honor is all he has.
Yeah.
And she took that from him. She took it from him. He allowed her to take it. There are two people involved in this. But I get where he's like, look, you need to catch up with me. Because this is all I have, man. This is all I have. I'm going to do that real quick there. So we're soon met with an even greater shock. King, the king's alive. He's not dead, which I already knew that because somebody in my life told me. Someone told me, oh, you think he's dead? He's not.
I had to spoiler that. You were so sure that he dies at the wedding.
Well, that was clearly what they kind of visually showed us, is that he had died.
Yeah.
So
look who's still alive and looking more like Gollum with every episode.
Yeah, and so I don't know. We get a lot of subtleties in this scene, visually talking about the differences visually of the children, brown hair, blonde, which Keith was going into. So I'm trying to remember what was exactly said by the queen here, but she really is just being a complete snotty
Keep
bitch.
trying. Maybe you'll get one that looks like you.
Looks like the father, you know.
That was fun.
I'm like, God damn, man. So, and in the next scene, not only is Rhaenyra's third child, but the father is secretly Sir Harwin Strong. Mm-hmm. And Harwin's not even trying to hide his feelings of disdain. And I actually liked the scene where he beats the shit out of Kristen. You know, Kristen got fucking cocky with him, but the sad part is it makes the father of Strong feel like he's failed somehow, and he wants to resign, and he wants his son to be. His son is banished, as I recall. That was by the order of the king.
He's banished from the City Watch after that incident.
Yeah, and but he was 100% in the right, you know, because those little white-haired albino creeps are fucking bullies. And we get to see just how creepy they are later when we see the guy pulling a Homelander standing out on the ledge of his window, masturbating out the window on the people
Hang
in
on,
the city.
he's a douchebag.
That's the
He's
same
an
window
idiot
that what's his face, the middle kid. I forgot the
Tommen.
king. Tommen took the header out of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
well, the whole thing about Crispin getting beat was that the reason why he was smiling was that was all a part of his plan, egging on him Strong.
Oh yeah, you can see him clearly smiling as he's getting beaten at first.
Yeah,
but then that shit starts hurting, and that smile went away.
Well, yeah. But I mean, that's part of the plan. This is all a part of being able to further make the princess look like an idiot, basically. This is all about payback. All of it. All of it's about payback. They are playing the game. And the princess is losing. I mean, by drips and drabs, she is losing. And as more and more things come out, as every incident points to, she's basically losing ground quickly.
Well, I think she don't think she sees how much she's losing because she still thinks she's got her dragon to rely on. Because she still has the biggest dragon.
Yes. That's exactly it. You can definitely tell. Say what?
Gary's lying to Dawn here.
Have I said it more than once? I thought I did it in the first 5 seconds and that was it. Done 3? Wow, it's really bad. Anyway, well, nobody's pointed out that all of her kids are wearing green.
Yes.
Yeah, and Rhaenyra's kids are wearing black and red.
And she is deliberately egging her kids on to bully the other kids.
They do get along, though. I mean, they all team up to bully Aemond.
Yes, they are. Look, it's there is a lot of stuff happening. They are going through a lot of stuff. The scene where you see the daughter is interesting in so much as that she also is partially what's the word that I'm looking for? There is a portion of these books, even going all the way back to the first show, that they've never really have put before the audience unless you've read the books. Magic does play a part in this, and certain people have abilities. Targaryens seem to have the ability to be able to see into the future. Not all of them, some of them really strongly. Viserys might be one of them. That's hinted at in the books. You also have the Stark family seems to have a particular power where they can actually merge with animals. That was hinted at in Game of Thrones in the show, but that was never ever something that they actually said happened. In fact, somebody had the theory that that's exactly what happened with Ned Stark just before his head was cut off, that he was able to merge with one of the birds. The same thing happened with the eldest son too, when he was quote unquote yeah. Well, no. He's not the eldest son. The same thing happened with the eldest Rob before he was killed at the Red Wedding. That he had actually done that with his wolf. That's the whole thing with the dire wolves. Right. Also, all the kids could technically do that.
But Bran definitely has powers.
Yes, Bran definitely has them. But I mean, Rob, the sad story about that was it hints at the fact that Rob had done that. And then ultimately his wolf ended up dying that same night anyway. So, again, as I keep saying, there's a lot of stuff that's passing right before the audience. A lot of stuff, hints and stuff from the books that they're either hinting at or that they're just going to gloss over by a lot. So,
yeah.
Hello.
Sorry,
yes. Got distracted by the noise in the background.
No, I've got an issue. I'm trying to resolve it real quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I was giving Gerry a chance to
but Gerry
do his thing.
Oops.
Oh. Okay.
No, I didn't.
So that leads us to what is next, which is checking in on Daemon and finding out that he's already married
to Lena.
Yeah,
the dragon scene is so cool, and we get to see Vhagar. Biggest oldest dragon alive. I love it when you see them ride the dragons. I'm not that cool with the weird saddles though. But yeah, I kind of liked how Daenerys was just riding on the bareback of her dragons, but that is a cool dragon.
Oh yeah. Well, something that you have to understand in watching them is that what is communicated that he's not only married, but they have 2 kids,
Twins, yeah, twin daughters.
and that she is pregnant with another one,
Mm-hmm.
and that they are not living in Dragonstone. They are actually
They're in Pentos.
Yes, and
with Prince, what's his name? Reggio.
yes. So it looks like they have lost a lot because I think the two of them getting together was definitely against the wishes of her family. It's definitely not something the king would have put together.
Yeah, her father wanted to marry her off to Bravos, and I think in the book, Damon challenges that guy and kills him or something.
Mm-hmm. So they're together, they're having kids, and it looks like that's the reason why later on, when she's talking about how she misses home, how both of them look like they're homesick, and that's because they haven't been able to return home since they've been together.
Damon doesn't really have a home anymore.
No.
She has Driftmark to go to, I guess, and that's what she wants.
She has it, but she doesn't have any of the stuff related to her status. You know, a lot of that stuff's been taken away from her because she's with Damon. But the two of them are attempting to make a life. And as the audience soon realizes, Damon is kind of a different person. He's very settled, you know, but he's still kind of troubled in a way. He's not all there.
Yeah. She does like the offer, though. The offer that Prince Reggio makes them.
Yes.
To give them a castle and land and basically be king of that region.
Mm-hmm.
To have an ally against Liz because they are rising again.
Well, and again, I think, in my mind, I think Damon really wants to be back at King's Landing. I think, having heard now that Renea has given birth again, I think he realizes that she is in trouble. I mean, even where he is looking at her situation, I think he realizes how bad off she is. Because as I was trying to say earlier, you cannot have any hint, excuse me, of scandal.
No.
Yeah.
Damon tried to teach her that it's not about what is true. It's what it's what your, how did he put it? It's what your, it's not about whether or not something actually is the truth. It's about,
perceived.
It is how, yeah, that's it. It's how it's perceived. And the perception, even from where Damon is that she's out of control. And that her kids definitely do not look like their quote unquote father, which means they're bastards, which means that if the king were to die right now, this minute, there could be a very lengthy this is not a cut and dried thing. Even though the princess is still named as the successor.
She's still the heir, yeah.
Yeah, but she wouldn't. There would be a massive fight because of her kids. You know, your duty as it stands is to be with the person who you are married to. And this is what the queen is arguing. This is her whole thing. This goes back to what even her dad said. It doesn't matter if she was the greatest queen of all time. There's, you know, back before she even did any of this, there was going to possibly be a problem because of who she is. She's a woman. Mm. You add to that spitting in the face of everyone by going off and having children with someone who's not her husband. That is a bad thing, a real bad thing. That's a near punishable thing, but it's enough to get her ostracized. I mean, that's really how bad off this is. She has put her kids in danger, basically.
Sorry.
So, at this point, Damon can see that. I think personally, Damon can see that. it looks like she hasn't followed his advice that he tried to give her. So she's out of control. He can tell she's in trouble. Mixed with something else there, and it's something that his wife can perceive. Damon is definitely not there. His head and possibly harder someplace else. And even though she has said that she realized that long ago, she's still committed to them and their relationship, to the vow that she made, and to having this child. But you can definitely tell that Damon is struggling a little bit. He's completely lost in thought sometimes.
Yeah, he's very involved with the one of his daughters who has a dragon, though.
Yes.
Not so much with the other one, who's still trying to hatch her egg.
Uh-huh. And then, let's see, after that scene, that's the, let's see, you have the scene where you're seeing one of the princess's sons, the youngest, getting his own dragon. I think that was the youngest.
That's the
The eldest.
No.
I'm sorry, the eldest. The eldest. Yeah. And you can tell he's really digging it. I mean, he's loving it.
Just serious.
But,
oh yeah, when he gets to light up the gold.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
The
dragon is Vermax.
Mm-hmm. Now you have the youngest of the king's children, who you find out, and I think it's Aemont, who does not have a dragon at all.
Well, not yet, at least.
Yeah, not yet, but he doesn't have one
because he doesn't have an egg that hatched.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhaenyra is trying to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end.
Well, that leads to him doing something kind of dumb after having a trick played on him by his cousins and
that
brother.
was mean, though.
That was a little that was mean. That was boys.
That was very mean. Yeah.
Well, yeah. On the other hand, right, boys. It shows they do team up, so they are not enemies yet. Although,
but it also
probably try their best.
It also shows, though, that as far as the queen is concerned, she overlooks how the eldest participated in that. She's willing to see anything bad that the princess's kids do. With her own kids, she doesn't see that at all. So she has a blind spot. But she's also a little worried herself, because I think the last words her father spoke to her in the last episode, as her eldest is basically approaching manhood, she is really needing him to act like he can possibly rule. She needs to see that this is actually starting to take hold with him. And as you notice during the scene where they were working on their fighting techniques, he seems to be really distracted with girls and with just being the prince. He acts almost like he doesn't really want to rule, which is the exact opposite of what her dad told her to get him ready to do.
He doesn't realize. It takes that scene where she basically tears him a new one and shakes him and tells him that, hey, you are in danger. Realize that, please. Stop acting like a teenager who has nothing to worry about.
Well, he thinks he gets everything on a silver platter. That's why he was when he was fighting the thing, he's just fighting the dummy. He's just whipping around like he's a superior swordsman when he really doesn't have any skill at all, hardly.
Yeah. Well, he acts a lot like Damon. Or at least how Damon was. I mean, but he's a teenager. That's to be expected. But you can definitely tell from that particular scene that there is starting to be kind of a division And even though Viserys can look out, for him, all he sees are all these kids playing together, just being boys. You know, he really, really has willed himself to only see certain things, even though I think he realizes deep down that there's a lot of miss, and especially with the princess's kids, it really is flaunting it in front of everyone every time she gives birth to one of the kids that do not look like they come from her and her husband.
Yeah.
So after the fight, though, between Strong and
Cole.
Sir Kristen, that leads to the Hand having to make the decision that his son should be banished, and they have to go back home. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he was head of the Kingsguard, and you can't have him behave like that. Why do I have an echo?
Do you still have an echo now?
Trying? No. Yeah, it's still there.
Try it now.
Echo. Gone. Okay, thanks.
It was Keith.
Mm.
I muted him so I could see which one was echoing back.
Now you have an echo.
Well, it's Keith.
Oh, and my echo is back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Keith. So let me go look, see if his echo cancellation isn't working. I need you to unmute yourself so I can edit your audio settings. There you go. Undo echo. There we go. For some reason, echo cancellation was on yours, but it wasn't working. That was weird. So I turned it off, and now it's working. Explain StreamYard to me, the logic of how some of the shit is supposed to work but doesn't. So I have a video clip now. I was not pooping. I will tell you if I'm pooping. I brag about my poops. So, Mr. Ticket Trunk, you know, I was not pooping. I was making this video just for this moment. Anybody doing a super chat or anything? Because I want to play this clip.
I think a few people jumped in.
Who do we got?
If you want to say hi to them.
We got Alex Moore is here, Mr. Tickle Trunk, of course. And, of course, Don Ecker is watching how much I'm cussing. And so let's see. I guess I'll just play this video for shits and giggles. So here you go. Boom.
That was
Suicide by Dragon.
And that poor dragon, she hesitated. She didn't want to.
No, it didn't want to. It didn't want to.
Female, she understood. Finally, and did it.
She kept pleading with her, and
that was heartbreaking.
Well, all he had to do was pretend not to be a piece of shit. That's all he had to do. Just pretend you're not a piece of shit.
Who, Damon?
Yeah.
That's not why she committed suicide. The kid wouldn't come out.
No, they wanted to do a C-section, and she'd rather die.
Well, she would have died anyway. The Maester says so.
But
she wouldn't survive it. But he doesn't make the decision.
Yeah, and on top of that,
and she runs off.
This is where the mistake comes in that I find for the episode.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't decide to do it. He asks whether or not she would survive. You know, there is no confirmation as to whether or not they were going to actually go through and try to take the baby out of her, let alone whether or not the mother was in danger of dying anyway herself.
Yeah, and he saw with his brother and Emma that maybe the child doesn't survive it anyway, so he just can't make that decision. He can't.
It is muddled. I mean, it's almost like they took a scene out or something. It's not very clear. and they really need to go back and fix that particular scene so that everything else that follows could make sense. You know, her death in that scene is slightly different from the way that it's written in the book. In the book,
in the book, she gives birth to something deformed and dies like a week later or so from childbed fever.
So, you know, I get why they decided to do it. It's a little more expedient. It's visually, dramatic. But I wish they'd been a little clearer as to her condition and the condition of the baby. Because all you know for certain is that you've reached the end of what that particular physician can do. But you're not very sure as to everything that comes with it. You know what I mean? Damon, the only thing that Damon says in that scene is he wants to know if his wife will, is she all right? Will she survive? That's the only thing. And there's not much else to that scene as far as his reaction. And then the other thing was how long it took everyone to follow after a woman who's been struggling for hours.
That was stupid.
That's the part
no
that
one
really
stopped her. That was
nobody
weird.
stopped her. I mean, you've got all the midwives. Even Damon himself. I mean, supposedly he's looking right at her, and he loses sight for a moment, and they're talking, and then you turn and she's gone.
But he runs after her, but
and he's running. Yeah.
He's
It's
late,
amazing.
and that's kind of
Well, let's watch this video all the way through, and you'll see his expression.
really want to.
Because in this entire scene, the dragon was resisting. She accepts her fate, and now we cut to what look at his eyes. He's broken.
Yeah.
That actually broke him a bit.
Yes, it did. Because he made it look. Loved her. I don't think he was in love with her, but he loved her.
He liked her. He really liked her. Yeah.
Yeah, and but one other thing I want to get into is something that bugs the shit out of me, and apparently it's bugging other people too, is how the second age casting is going, which I like the Queen because it's the young lady from Bates Motel, which I love that show, and she's a very good actor. But the casting of Rhaenyra is just really fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
This actor looks nothing like the younger version. They should have just kept the same actor and aged her up a little bit. Facial structure is nothing alike. Their eyes are different shape. Their noses are different shape. Their mouths are sort of similar. Completely different foreheads.
Only the
cheekbones
chin
are different. One looks basically like your standard European, and the other one looks Scandinavian. The younger version has the higher outer cheekbone. And it's like, try to cast somebody that resembles the younger version. You really need to try to do that. And it feels like they didn't even go out of their way. No, and also, speech pattern, nothing alike.
Actually, I heard somewhere that the older versions were cast first, and then they went and cast the younger ones.
And they did a terrible job.
I couldn't find out if that was true.
Either way, it's a failure in casting with that character.
Yeah.
The Queen wasn't bad because I like that young actress that's playing the older version. But to be honest, the younger version again could have been aged up to play them. I just I don't know. I think this was
Alicent, yes. Rhaenyra, I don't think so, because she looks so young.
She looks 12 years old no matter what.
I don't
but
think
the
they
fact
could
is
have aged her.
there are
10
photos
years.
of her. There are photos of her, and she looks her age. She's in her 20s. Both girls are.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of the aging, what also bugged me was that Kristen, he didn't age at all, and it's 10 years. Come on, he just got a haircut. That's all.
Yeah. Look, Hollywood's had a problem with casting young to old since the 50s. I mean, you look at there's a movie Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis did where they're in their 30s playing high school kids. And but you've seen some really good ones, like on Beverly Hills 90210, 210, the girl that ran the school paper.
I did not watch that.
She was 35 when she was playing a high school kid.
Well, I think the best one in recent years is Tron Legacy. The actor who they had playing Kevin
His
Flynn's son.
Yeah.
When they had the younger version, that's the actor's nephew. That's
Yeah,
the reason
'cause
why
they
he looks so
resemble
much.
each other.
That's right. They resemble each other.
Yeah. It's really kind of weird. You'll see that every once in a while, and I like it, where they have actually actual family members play versions of the actor when they're younger, or family members, and that resemblance is so clear and obvious that I like it. I like it when they do shit like that.
Another one is Man of Steel. The young actor who they had playing young Clark Kent versus, before you get to Henry Cavill, there's kind of a resemblance there, especially in the eyes. That works. That works big time for that film. Yeah. But that's all I can think of.
It's just the one character. What, Martin?
How about It?
Oh my God, yeah. The casting in that was perfect. And they really listened to the kids, picking who they would pick to play the older version of them.
That's cool.
And that's how we got what's his name in particular, Barry. Star Barry, Saturday Night Live. Comedic actor. Does voices.
I don't know.
No idea.
All right.
Surrender.
Nobody else has Google. I'll go do it. And you can hear me on
I
the
don't
microphone.
have two screens. So I leave that to the geeks.
I'm going to do that to give other people a chance to look stuff up.
I was waiting for Keith to jump in.
Bill Hader. Bill Hader was actually picked by the young actor picked Bill Hader to play the older version of him, and I thought it was really good. It was really good. The other one I didn't like was Chastain, because she can't act her way out of a fucking paper bag. Jessica Chastain is a terrible actor. And I know I'm not the only person that shares that opinion. Every time I see her get cast in something, I can hear people go, "No! Oh, it's a redhead. Let's cast her." It's like, if it's Jessica Chastain, you'll never see them race swap.
Wow. Well, you know what? I didn't mind her in It Part 2. I minded her in the final X-Men movie that they did because she was completely wasted. I mean, really, everybody besides one or two roles in that film, everybody's wasted in that movie. And I mean that in a very bad way and not in the kind of, hey, let's party way. But I mean, that entire film is an exercise in mind-numbing stupidity. That entire film is just, it never should have been made.
No.
Well, this is interesting. Okay, so...
Still way better than Rings of Power.
When am I supposed to start on this, though? I am not sure. Che sent me an image, and I am just not sure where I'm supposed to start on this. So I'm going to save it and open it in Photoshop and then share my screen. Because he sent me a family tree for the series. So let's see.
Oh, that's handy. Game of Thrones, you almost need a scorecard.
Yeah.
Dude, have you seen the family tree of Dark? That shit is for crazy people, man.
I have not.
You should see the family screen of my family, Martin. Everybody has like 6 kids plus.
So here you go. We have Old Valeria, Conquest. Where are we at now on this? I don't know, because these are caricature drawings. They're not very good. So I don't know. Is that Rhaenyra? So this is her now?
That's so small.
I'll make it bigger. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thank you. It's still too small. I can't read any of the names.
I don't know what to do.
Mm.
I mean, getting in closer. It's as close as I can get cutting people off. So and
oh, we got the Baratheons too.
Yeah, I think that's all in the past.
yeah, I don't know because they're not related to the show, so I don't know.
That's where we are.
Right here.
Got Lena and Damon.
That's Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra, right? And her 3 kids.
Yeah, there's Allison Hightower.
Yeah, so that's where we are.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there's a spoiler. So it splits in 2 right there. That's interesting. Then they combine again to make some more and then break off over here.
I think they would come up with some original names at some point.
George R.R. Martin come up with something original?
That's true.
Someday, when he comes up with that last book, he'll do that.
He's going to die before he finishes that fucking book.
Oh, don't start John on that one, please. You go right down that rabbit hole. The missing books.
So, I see that Shanatsky is here. Keeping an eye on Shanatsky. So, I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Thanks for singing that, Calvin Rubin Che. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I wanted to show more artwork, but I can't show the artwork because it's too far done on my new book that I'm doing with somebody. So,
secret project.
Super duper.
Double secret.
Double secret.
Well, listen, while we have this lull, I will say I will see everybody later. I have to go.
Bye, Keith.
But,
all right, buddy.
Bye, Keith. Have a good day.
You guys, I will attempt to do that. I will be listening in. So you guys continue to have a great show, and I will see everyone later.
All right, buddy. See you later. So, yeah, here we go, man. Yeah, he is gone. Let's talk about him. So I guess I can share a little bit here. I don't want to show too much. I'm doing what's called flatting. And if you guys don't know what flatting is, it's the base color you start with, the very bottom layer, and you give everything its color, solid color, the darkest color that it's going to be, and then you build your highlights off of that. And so this is where I'm at right now, and I have a meeting today over this to confirm what colors, what. There we go.
Nice.
I just love it.
And there we go. I can't tell you the name or anything else. So, named after Shanatsky was named after a character from The Love Boat.
Okay,
Oh, Alex Moore. Yeah, good statement. I'd rather have that book than the shows. Yeah, I get you. I have no faith in him. That's why I shit on him and tagged him in that post when he was supporting Orville and had his little Orville hat on, like Orville Nation. And I said, that's great. But what are you doing watching TV? Stop watching TV and get back and finish your freaking book. Why don't you? George R.R. Martin watching Orville when he's got work to be done.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Magitech. So, I don't know. Do you think we wrap this episode up? Or is there anything else we need to add?
We're at the end.
Yeah, because at the end,
we haven't discussed a lot of things yet.
Well, I've got to wrap up here quickly. So,
Okay.
Basically, we know that she's going to leave. She makes the decision to leave to protect her family. Plus, I think she wants to be with Strong. And he's been banned from the kingdom. She knows that
he has also been set on fire by his brother.
Yeah.
Harry and Lionel are killed.
And his father.
Lionel,
really?
yeah.
I don't remember that. I just know that because I thought they had more to do in the books. So they're just killing them off?
Yeah, that fucking rat. He takes two prisoners who are sentenced to death, cuts out their tongues, and sends them after them.
I saw that.
To burn down the castle. That was bad.
Yeah.
Harrenhal was burnt down. Again, because people keep dying there. It's not a good place.
They keep burning it. They'll keep.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry O'Connell's just trying to find work, man. He's the fat kid from Stand By Me, and he's all grown up now. And he had a show that I enjoyed up there in Canada. It was silly as hell. It was like their Canadian version of Monk, but he's an actor instead of a guy with problems. So he's a guy with problems, just different problems than what Monk had.
So just saying about the situation we have now. The king is still alive, and also he doesn't have a hand now.
Nope.
Because the hand wanted to resign Lionel, and Viserys said no. And then Lionel said that, well, at least let me escort my son home and make sure he gets there and doesn't fuck up more, I guess. And he never returns because he gets burnt, so there's no hand.
I think it's all. I think they're going to try and bring back Otto.
Yes. I didn't want to spoiler that, but.
Well, no, because she talks about.
Yeah.
Bringing her dad back.
Yeah, look, that's the one thing. His bragging point is that he got Rebecca Romaine. I think it was one of my favorite jokes at John Stamos's expense during his roast was when that big ugly fucking dude that's got alopecia says, what's it like knowing that the fat kid from Stand By Me nailed your wife? I'm like, that's fucking rude. But there you go.
There's another one.
No, it's okay. We're after the first hour.
Okay.
Doesn't count anymore. Jerry O'Connell married Rebecca Romaine. He won. Yeah. They named the lizard Dr. Octopus name. John Stamos never got her pregnant. You think that's what it was? Are you trying to say he's shooting blanks? So they leave at the end, and they now are going to King's Landing, right?
Who?
No, Dragonstone.
Dragonstone. Okay.
That's her castle.
Yeah, they arrived at Dragonstone.
STR. Yeah.
All right. I had to block somebody, sorry. Nothing pisses me off more than people that get irritated by being tagged. Fuck you. I get tagged all the time. Do you see me having a fucking fit over it? No. Does it make my life more complicated? No.
Why would you get pissed because someone tags you? That's stupid.
It is stupid because the whole point of having a community that you are promoting your show with or whatever the fuck you're doing, you want to get numbers, but fuck other people for wanting to get numbers. Only I get to do that. You know, fucking people that do that.
I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, oh, cool. Somebody tagged me.
Yeah. Look, man, my show gets numbers.
I have purpose.
I'm comfortable with
I don't get tagged that often.
But I actually appreciate it when people tag me because I'm curious. What did you tag me for? Oh, that's neat. Let me know that I need to share something because the one thing I get made fun of for, I've been made fun of for this, is that I go through my fucking feed every day looking for people posting something and I share it. I don't care if people think that that's weird. I thought that's what we're supposed to be doing, is sharing our friends' stuff and trying to help promote our friends.
That's what social media is for.
It's exactly what social media is for. But some people, like an elite snipers RF, tells Fat Steve, buddy, can you please stop tagging me in these? It gets a little annoying. Fuck you, elite snipers RF. Fuck you. Right in your asshole. I'm not tagging you. He's talking to Fat Steven Seagal. Fat Steven's always got something interesting going on. I support everything he does. Are you telling us, elite snipers RF, that your time is more important than everyone else's? I think that's what you're saying. Elite snipers RF.
Why are you shouting, Max?
Oh, Mags. Well, I share. If I see something from Magitech, I always fucking share his stuff. He was a drummer that worked with the Beach Boys. Yes, that is absolutely true. He's not the drummer, but he is a drummer that has worked with him. He's a very good drummer. When I get tagged, it's neat. Yeah, fuck. Some people, I swear to God, I'm going to show this to you. This just fucking irks me to no end when people do this shit. If it was someone doing it with me, I wouldn't show it because, well, it's unprofessional of me to do that. But this guy, buddy, can you please stop tagging me in these? It gets a little annoying. And Steven says the most polite thing, but also blunt thing. Okay, never again. I will never fucking tag you. Personally, if I were you, Fat Steven, I'd fucking block that guy.
Yeah.
He's being an asshole.
I would block him.
This is what Twitter's about, what you did, tagging him. That's what it's for. Fuck people like that. Yeah. Just so you know.
Stop being angry, Gerry.
There you go. I blocked him. No, this just irritates the shit out of me. I'm not angry. I'm irritated. I'm irritated by these egocentristic fuckholes. Yeah, he is blocked. I blocked this cocksucker. Fuck him. Never deal with him again. That's what being rude to other people gets you.
Well, he's one of those people that feel the need to crow about how many followers they have and how many views they have and what level they are in some children's game.
Get a life.
Absolutely cock blocked. Thank you, Tickle Trunk. No, I block all the time. I only mute people I don't want to listen to. But if I see somebody like that, I want to block them. I don't want any contact because I might forget what he did. And he'll show up there and I'll end up sharing it because I forgot all about how he shit on a friend of mine. And I'm very friend-centric. I absolutely stand up for my friends. And Keith has seen it up close and personal when we were doing a show. I won't say the show because I like the guy that was hosting the show. He's a good guy. But he had an asshole that I blocked on my Twitter page and on Facebook. And he was on the show and he kept interrupting Keith because he didn't like what he was saying. Instead of just letting Keith finish and then rebutting, he just kept interrupting him. And I eventually snapped at the guy. I said, why don't you let Keith finish his fucking statement before you interrupt? How about that? Maybe. And then I left. I said, I got to go, guys, because I don't want to hang out with people that piss me off. It's just Twitter. Ignore them. LOL. No, I ignore people. Tickle Trunk, you can't tell me anything I don't fucking do already. I'm telling you, man, I'm an old pro at this shit. But I get sick of this stuff, and I don't ignore rudeness with a friend, ever. If I see somebody fuck with you, Tickle Trunk, anybody, you can guarantee I will fucking block them and then say something rude about them to the person, you, in this case, if someone did it to you. I will stand up for every single person that's a friend of mine. And that's just the way I operate.
But I thought Twitter was real life.
None of it's real. The only thing real is a lot of the stuff in the private messages. That's when you see reality. The stuff on Twitter, if I spoke my mind, really spoke my mind, I think some of you guys fucking blocked me.
Some of them probably.
I would say things that just, I'm not yet at Don Ecker level Gerry. I'm getting there. Give me 10 years. I'll be just like Don. Because that's
oh my God.
I'm going to be Don Ecker when I grow up. But with the leg, not with it gone. That was a joke for Don if he's still in.
Yeah, you would probably be too lazy to put on your prosthesis. That one cracked me up when you asked his wife, does he wear it at home?
Vicky,
like, yeah, no.
Vicky, put on the headset. Put on the yeah. She gets on there. I said, tell the truth, Vicky. When he does his show and he's just hanging around the house, he doesn't bother putting his leg on, does he? She started laughing. No, he doesn't. He's too lazy. What?
Zax is here at the very last minute.
Speaking of peeing, read that there was bonding of two females in the MCU on set. Good Googa Mooga and Chitlin Switch.
What?
I'm confused.
I will never be Mel Gibson level because the one thing you'll never hear from me is anything really, actually racist. I love and admire people of different races. I like being around them. I feel like I'm learning something, gaining something, and becoming a better person. And it's the one thing you'll never. And by the way, when I get drunk, no, man. I'm like a friendly, overly jovial drunk. I never get angry drunk, ever. I am like just, you can talk me into anything when I'm drunk. That's why I don't get drunk. I've had a lot of gay friends try to get there with me. Andrew Dice Clay in 10 years. Hey! Don Lemon? Yeah, I fucked him. Oh!
Sax is in the house.
25.
Yeah, I told him that 5 minutes
after
ago.
the first hour.
He's not listening.
It's after the first hour. I can now cuss. It's after the first hour, Don. I got the 3. I did the 3 in the first hour.
Is it 1 hour? I thought it was 10 minutes for the algorithm.
No, I'm trying to not cuss for the first hour.
Okay.
And but I made it, Don. And yes, it's true. If you didn't hear it, Don, I want to be you when I grow up.
Yeah, but before the show, you dropped like 30 F-bombs, so
yeah,
kind of tried to get it out of your system before you started.
Good travel, Sax.
Fuck.
Enjoy.
But I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is actually really a good episode, except for I'm very disappointed with the casting of Rhaenyra. I think that they should have either kept the same actor or found someone of the same Scandinavian lineage as her. She was cute and pretty in her own way. And the person they cast as her, I got to be honest, she's a little homely. And there's no way you're that pretty and then you become homely. It's not how the evolution of the human body works. I'm just telling you, from childhood to adulthood. So, shout out to my buddy Fat Steven Seagal. You keep tagging me, man. You keep tagging me. I will fucking share your stuff, buddy. I just absolutely cannot stand some of this stuff when people get nasty about being tagged. I say the same thing to Zax because Zax is always like hesitant. He's in the chat right now. He's been hesitant in the past. I said, you tagged me. Everything you tagged me. I told you that, didn't I, Kyle? I said, you tag me anytime you want to, man. I think that no matter how hectic my life has been, and this has been a rough week for me, and I'm going to say it again, when I jump on a show and I've got Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge and Mad Mardigan, and I'm usually the funniest of the show, I've got to really bring my A game with those two. And this week I did not have my A game going, and I was just acquiescing to those two constantly on Toxic Tuesday, because I am now officially a member of Toxic Tuesday, and so I'm terrified to be in the room with both those guys because they're so funny, and worse than that, man. Mad Mardigan is like on his A game with me sometimes, and he'll jump me, and like he did it this week, and I was like, I don't know where to go. I can't fight back. I'm too tired. I don't know what to do. But he was hilarious this week, and luckily Tom had to leave, because otherwise I think I would have just shut the hell up that whole show. Because and it was a great episode. We were talking about Total Recall, one of my favorite sci-fi action films ever made. With Arnold, hey, consider that a divorce. So Gary's a member. Just remember, Gary, you still have hair. It's true. I still have a full head of hair. Matt is, Matt, I think you're misunderstanding Mikey. I think he's pretty sharp. I think he's off because he has a skewed way of looking at things. And if I were more on my game the other night, I would have had better comebacks with him. But I was off my game because I was exhausted this week, just exhausted. And I'm going to let you know what I'm going to do from this point forward. I want to do 3 shows a week, and every show is going to be an hour to an hour and a half tops. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then Tuesday and Friday, I'll probably pop in for a few minutes, but I'm going to let somebody else host it. And I got to find somebody because I need somebody who's got high energy and can handle it. And
that's not me.
Oh, and that's not a dig at you, but you are not a high energy person. You are a together person. You always have great comments and stuff like that. But to run the shows, you got to be high energy. So I was actually going to consider, but I don't want to push Keith because Keith is really freaking busy too. But Tuesdays and Fridays need to be somebody else because Friday, my main focus needs to be TGIF because I've been kind of running on fumes with TGIF. I've not been finding really good guests that I want to interview and stuff. And I haven't even talked to Sarah Frazetta in weeks. And I need to get with her. I've got a lot of friends that could be inviting as guests to interview. Fat Steven is the co-host of TGIF. I don't know, because he's got his own show in the mornings where he streams his gaming.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Fat would be up for it. I mean, I'd love it if he was, but I don't think he is. I wouldn't mind Danny, but Danny's been really just not around. And so we need someone that's going to reliably show up on time every Tuesday and Friday.
Danny can't do a morning show. He has to bring his kid to school.
That's exactly because it takes him an hour and a half to drive his kid to school and get back. Because it's like, I think he said it was like 30 minutes there, a little over 30 minutes get to school, 30 minutes in line before the kid is at the front door because you got to go. I've done it, man. I've been there with that, with big schools and dropping the kid off. And then a half hour back, it ends up being an hour and a half, and that's the length of the show most of the time. So, who's Danny? Shut up, Kingsport gal.
Danny is our Bigfoot. Mostly
Who's
rumors,
Danny?
but sometimes there's sightings.
I'm thinking of that song number 5. What was that movie? Short Circuit.
Who's Johnny?
Yeah, who's Johnny? We'll change it to Danny. Who's Danny? She said. Anyway, what is Snow Dub or Ords doing? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm going to hit both of them up. That's a really good question. I know that Loki is busy, and Loki is somebody I wouldn't mind doing it, but also Clobby could be somebody. I'm going to be talking to him. Trust me, guys. I'll be talking to him because the morning show is a lot of fun. And I don't want to see an end to Tuesday and Fridays. So it'd be nice to have like somebody else host it for us or with us. So it's something to talk about. And Martin, I definitely want to have your input on some of this stuff too, because your opinion matters to me, man. But let's see. Monkey Jeebus, thank you for being here. Penny, of course. Dork Knight's mom. Alatar. Gap After Dark. Scott Lewis. D. Bud Martin. Glenn Fleming from the UK. Magitech Mags. Dr. Dragon. Darius Munchausen. Eat They Cat Food. Cavaltino Calvaryman Shea is here. Decepticons Cave of Villains. Lindsay the Cynical Geek. Kingsport Cal. Don Ecker, the one and only. Mr. Tickle Trunk. Let's see. Alex Morsh. Shanatsky. And of course, Zax, aka Kyle, is here. I want to thank all you guys for being here today. And I want to thank Keith for dropping in. Anima for talking about dragons. John for quietly listening and judging me the whole show. He judges me all the time.
He's like a cat.
He's sitting there going, yeah, I can almost feel it off him. God, you're such an asshole, Gary. God, it's so hard to like you. And I want to thank Martin Acosta Santana for being the right side of my brain on these shows, because he really does make my life a lot easier. I need to make it just a little more easier because I'm not getting my work done. And I need to be able to get my work done. So thanks everybody for showing up today and talking Dragon, House of the Dragon. Big news this week, of course, was Mikey Sutton's scoop on Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman was confirmed. Another confirmation, another feather in his cap.
We lost Coolio.
Oh my God, Coolio. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. That's 59, man. That's like a year. He was born in 63. I was born in 64. People dying that young is weird to me. Yeah, again, it's after the first hour, Dawn. I'm on my own time now.
Gary, have you seen what Sax put in chat?
What did he say?
He has a nice plan.
Yeah.
Oh, is he wanting to do it?
No.
There.
Maybe I can fit an Anima Confucia in my luggage, bring her home for back. Hey, look, and you said the secret word. You said the secret word that gets you the video. Here's the video for you, Zax, for saying the secret word.
Like, wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap door?
There you go. So here we go. I will let you guys know that Stan Gordon got back with me finally, and he is going to be on our show November 16th. And instead of talking about Kecksburg, because he's been talking about new cases that are just piling up that they're investigating in Pennsylvania alone of the three-toed Bigfoot and UFO sightings at the same time, and multiple reports coming in. So we'll be talking about that with Stan Gordon, who is, of course, one of the top researchers that Don Ecker took me on in order to get him on the show to talk about Kecksburg next week. But in the end, he's like, there's nothing to add to Kecksburg. But listen to this. And so he's saying that this stuff has been blowing up more and more and more. And I still think a lot of this is because people are not as afraid to come forward since the TikTok videos were proven to be real. That, clearly we're dealing with something alien to us. Whether it's alien to Earth or not, we don't know, but it's alien to us. Okay, you're just pushing my button.
Like, wouldn't you know that back door would trigger a trap door?
There you go. Okay, you got your video. But Lisbon, yeah, I love Lisbon. But that's it, guys. I want to thank you all for being here today. Let's end this show with some class. Low class, but class nonetheless. And again, we will I will see you in the morning. It'll be a short show, shorter than this one, because I've got to prep for the TGIF. But look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Until then, hey, man, we love you. I'm not going to say I do. But we love you.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Chris just arrived.
Yeah, Mr. Tickle Trunk, there you go. I love all you fuckers. And if I call you a fucker, it means I like you. It's that simple. Chris, Chris,
Hello,
I hope you're feeling
everybody,
better,
Chris.
buddy, because he's been sick. He's been dragging ass, not feeling good. So everybody have a great Thursday. Au revoir.
Welcome